occasion to celebrate the recent board appointees is Mr. Khalim Shah, the Senior Country Manager Nigeria of the IFC. Over the past 2 years, NGX and IFC have been in an active partnership to implement the Nigeria to Equal program, the first multi-stakeholder country project focused on reducing gender gaps in Nigeria's private sector companies. NGX and IFC are pleased to host today's closing gong ceremony, as this event embodies the outcomes that we would like to achieve through the Nigeria to Equal program. On behalf of the Board of Directors and Management of Nigerian Exchange Limited, I wish to extend our warmest congratulations to Dr. Omobola Johnson, Mrs. Bola Adeshola, Erelu Angela Adebayo, and Mrs. Catherine Echiozo for their recent appointments. I would also like to appreciate Dr. Mrs. Dere Awoshika and Mr. Khalim Shah for joining us to celebrate these icons. We look forward to celebrating you more on Tuesday, the 8th of March, 2022, as we join our global partners, the IFC, the World Federation of Exchanges, the Sustainable Stock Exchanges Initiatives, the UN Women and UN Global Compact for the 8th Ring the Bell for Gender Equality and to commemorate the 2022 International Women's Day celebrations. Congratulations once again. I would now invite Dr. Omobola Johnson to make a few remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Timmy. First of all, I'd like to thank the NGX for this unique event, celebrating recently appointed female board chairs. It really is a pleasure and an honor to be sharing this platform with many accomplished women, and I cannot tell you how proud I am to be the board chair of one of the oldest and most iconic brands in the country. It's quite ironic that we're celebrating advancements we have made in corporate governance a day after the National Assembly voted very strongly against several gender bills that were seeking to address the imbalance in female representation in all facets of our national life. My personal career journey has been supported, facilitated, and encouraged by several men. My father, the late High Chief Ilimobaya Akinola, who told me that I could be anything I wanted to be, and encouraged me to pursue a degree in electrical and electronic engineering. My husband, Shea Johnson, who has been and still is my greatest supporter, cheerleader, and advisor for over 30 years. My early career mentors, Mr. Dr. Sulaiman and Mr. Dick Kramer, without whose mentoring, support, and backing, I could not have been the country managing director of Accenture. And of course, the former President, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who in fulfilling a campaign promise of having a cabinet with 30% female representation, appointed me to be the pioneer minister of communication technology. I say this to make the point to all our legislators that have voted against these bills, that building a greater nation requires all hands to be on deck. Women want to be partners and collaborators on this journey, and we cannot be if we are excluded by law or by cultural practices and norms. Finally, I want to again thank the NGX for this unique celebration, and I pray that I will live to see the day when these kind of events are no longer necessary. A day where specifically celebrating female leadership will no longer be relevant because it will be commonplace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Omobola Johnson, for your very wonderful remarks. And we do thank everyone that you mentioned in your list. I will now invite Erelu Angela Adebayo, the chairperson, NGX Real Estate, to deliver her remarks.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to extend my appreciation to the Board of Directors of the Nigerian Exchange Limited for this laudable initiative. NGX Group of Companies has transitioned from a company with less than 30% female representation on the highest governance body, the former National Council, to a group of 4 companies with 2 female chairs. I may bold to say that the Nigerian Exchange Group of Companies has made significant progress in promoting gender equality at all levels of the organization, especially, of course, at the highest levels of leadership. Having served within the NGX Group of Companies for some time, first as a member of the board of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the council, and now as the chairperson of the NGX Real Estate, and also a board member of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, I'm extremely proud of this transition. It gives me great joy to be celebrated among such exceptional women who are globally respected for their outstanding careers over the years. Allow me to congratulate my fellow chairs being celebrated here today. Dr. Mobola Johnson, Mrs. Bola Adeshola, Mrs. Catherine Echeozo, for your excellent careers that has culminated in your respective appointments. I join others to say that I'm especially grateful to Dr. Mrs. Dere Agoshika, MFR, who has taken out time to celebrate with all of us on these appointments. The roles we play as board chairs is a testimony to the unique value we bring as women to our respective organizations and the society as a whole. I commend NGX for its continuous efforts in collaborating with renowned organizations and leveraging its platform to make gender issues front and center in the economic agenda. I know that today's session will inspire women at all levels of their careers, that they can break the glass ceiling and play their own part in contributing to the global economy as women leaders. I'd like to conclude by extending my appreciation to my family and to my team, who have been my pillar of support over the years in the various positions, including chairpersons of other organizations. I want to thank you, Mr. Temi Popola, and the executive management of NGX for this laudable initiative and indeed this honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Erelu Adebayo, for your remarks. And we're indeed grateful to everyone that you mentioned as well. Thank you. I would now like to invite Mrs. Bola Adeshola, the chairperson of EcoBank Nigeria, to deliver her remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's such a pleasure for me to be here today and in the company of such eminent women and, of course, supportive gentlemen. I would first like to thank the NGX and the IFC for this recognition, both in celebrating female chairmen and in inviting me to participate in the closing gong ceremony to commemorate this year's International Women's Day celebrations, whose theme is Break the Bias. I have encountered both unconscious and conscious bias at various times in my career journey, but I've always overcome those situations by remaining professional, delivering excellent performance, being courageous, and remaining resolutely determined to break such biases in order to establish positive precedents. But more importantly, I've also strived to role model to those behind me that indeed, winning the war against discrimination and prejudice can be achieved. It was therefore an honor for me to have been appointed as the chairman of EcoBank Nigeria, and an even greater honor to be the first woman in that seat. EcoBank remains fully committed to supporting and creating opportunities for women to take their rightful place as joint stakeholders in Africa. The bank provides an unparalleled enabling environment for open-minded engagement, mentorship, career development, and leadership for its female workforce. As a matter of fact, we have 42% female representation on our board of directors, got 51% of the senior managers in EcoBank are women, 54% of the management exco in the bank are women, and of the total staff strength of EcoBank, 46% are female. So EcoBank truly walks the talk as an enabler of breaking the bias, and we will strive to continue to mirror the gender parity in the Nigerian population. For our clients, women engagement also remains a top priority, especially with the bank's launch of Elevate, a value proposition catering to women-owned businesses and to products used by women. As a preeminent Pan-African financial institution in over 33 African countries, our focus on gender balance supports our mission to contribute to the economic and financial development of our continent. This is so because 1 in every 4 MSMEs in Africa is managed by a woman. So EcoBank is very happy to continue to collaborate with NGX and IFC to break the bias. In closing, I would like to urge us all to diligently work against actions that threaten the human rights of half the population of our dear country. An example is the scenario which Dr. Mobola Johnson referred to that played out yesterday in the country's legislature on a bill that would have progressed the efforts so far achieved in promoting gender equality. So we must strive to break the bias. We must strive to break the barriers to female progress. We must strive to break the bigotry against equality for women. And we must build the boldness in our women folk to stand up, to speak up, to show up, and to shout out. I thank the NGX and IFC once again for this honor and wish everyone a wonderful International Women's Day celebration. And I congratulate all the other chairwomen, the female chairpersons here present. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Adeshola. And it was quite delightful to listen to some of the statistics that you rolled out about EcoBank and gender representation. Thank you for your wonderful remarks. Without further ado, I'd like to invite, please, Mrs. Catherine Echiozo, the chairperson of NGX regulation, to please deliver her remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Temi Pupola, CEO, Nigerian Exchange. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly an honor to be in the company of you remarkable women and men. We're here to celebrate the achievements of female board chairs. I would like to acknowledge and congratulate my fellow board chairs who are being celebrated. Dr. Omobola Johnson, Chair, Guinness Nigeria PLC. Erelu Angela Adebayo, Chair, NGX Real Estate Limited. Mrs. Bola Adeshola, Chair, EcoBank Nigeria. And of course, our dear Dr. Awoshika, MFR, Chair, Access Bank PLC. I also acknowledge our predecessors as chairs, including the recent former chairs of GT Bank, Osareti Demure, Mosu Bello Olushoga, aka Antimo of Access Bank, and Ibukun Awoshika of First Bank. These and many other women have surmounted various forms of stereotypes and shown leadership and excellence in their respective fields. I salute the men and women that gave us the opportunity. Women of the world constitute half, 50% of the world's population, and play at least an equal role in populating the world. We deserve a future that is free from stigma, stereotype, and violence. A future that is sustainable and peaceful. One that presents equal rights and opportunities for all. To get us there, the world needs women at every single table where decisions are being made. This includes the tables discussing war and peace. I think this will lead to more peace than war. A progressive and forward-thinking society is one which provides access to opportunities for all and optimizes the potential of all talents, regardless of gender. Achieving diversity requires concerted efforts by organizations to redesign processes to be gender-friendly and to prioritize diversity. And I commend Nigerian Exchange Limited for strides made in this regard. The banking industry has also done very well. I must add that prioritizing diversity in leadership is not about achieving an optical balance. It's about tapping on the full breadth and depth of talent available and equipping companies with diverse talents and viewpoints so that they can better navigate and address challenges in an increasingly complex and competitive global environment. Remember, many spend and purchase decisions have significant female inputs. I encourage all of us to continue to champion and prioritize leadership diversity as it enables our companies and organizations to be more adaptive and our society to be more progressive. I am certain that our efforts to promote female leadership will build a strong foundation for the generations of women leaders to come. In closing, I counsel everyone to fight violence against women and girls. We are your mothers, wives, sisters, daughters, and friends. Thank you, and may God bless the rest of your year 2022.
Amen to that. Thank you very much, Mrs. Echioza. And I noticed that you expanded a little bit the people we're celebrating today. In that vein, I also do acknowledge some of our ladies and the women who serve on the boards within the NGX group of families. We also do celebrate you today. And indeed, every woman who's in a leadership authority, serving in a board in a capacity or the other, today's a day of celebration of everyone. With that, I'd like to invite Dr. Dere Awoshika, the chairperson of Access Bank, to please deliver her remarks in line as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much and good afternoon to everyone. such a day that is pleasant, relaxing, and we're able, even without being physical, to feel the celebration in the air. And for this, I thank NGX and IFC for putting it together and for inviting us, for making it worthwhile to celebrate distinguished women that are on this platform today. And like you said, the last person, Catherine, has extended it to other women. And I'm sure there are so many. So this is an occasion that NGX has evidently shown that there is need to celebrate women in order for other women to come up. So this afternoon, it's my great pleasure, my privilege to celebrate Erelu Angela Adebayo in your new role, Mrs. Bola Adeshola in your new role, Mrs. Amabola Johnson in your new role. You've had several roles, and Mrs. Catherine Echezo in your new role. We thank God that this is happening. Anytime I hear about celebrating women, I call it an obedience to the call of God. He made them male and female. There must always be female where there are males. And NGX, we thank you for putting this into action. And in this women's celebration that you are partnering with IFC to put in place, is going to go a long way to show other institutions the need to promote what is ongoing across all levels, that women are actually getting into the right place to make a difference and to serve the people. Naturally, as women, we serve. We serve our fathers, we serve our husbands, we serve our children. We are always serving, built to serve. And I congratulate you. All four have been serving in various capacities, as I said. And you are built to serve, and you are still serving because you've served well before. Thank you for this opportunity. God bless you as you go on blazing the trail. And together, we will make a difference in our nation, in the economic platform, and other platforms as well. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dr. Awoshika, for your kind and wonderful remarks. I would now like to invite Mr. Khalim Shah, the Senior Country Manager, Nigeria, for the International Finance Corporation, our partner on the Nigeria to Equal program, to deliver a few remarks as well.
Thanks a lot, Temi, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a special good afternoon to the ladies who are taking the exceptional leadership roles of being the chairs of their respective companies. It's a delight to join the leadership of the Nigerian Stock Exchange in today's closing gong ceremony to celebrate the recent appointment of the female chairs in the private sector. This is a significant milestone in corporate Nigeria, when women are in decision-making positions. Some African companies report profit increases up to 15%. Yet countries around the world are losing about $1.72 trillion in wealth because of differences in lifetime earnings between men and women. And the COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated this gender gap. Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa and is projected to have the 5th largest population in the world by 2026. Although women account for half of the population, they remain severely underrepresented in the country's private sector. Nigeria could reduce gender inequality. Its GDP could grow by an additional 23% by 2025, with a compelling social and economic case for closing the gender gap in the private sector. While different companies and sectors may take different approaches to the business case for gender equality, at IFC, our motivation is the knowledge that when companies and people, no matter what their gender, can reach their full potential, then families, communities, and economies can achieve sustainable growth and prosperity. At IFC, we use our investment and advisory expertise to support the private sector companies to close gender gaps across jobs and assets. IFC's gender work in Nigeria includes the Banking on Women program, targeted at financial institutions and private equity funds, Women's Insurance Program, which helps insurers design solutions that improve the financial security of women in emerging markets, and Women Entrepreneurs Finance, WIFI Initiative Program, which works with private sector to enable women-owned small businesses to start and grow. Last year, as Temi mentioned, IFC and the NGX joined forces under the IFC-led Nigeria to Equal Gender program to rally some of the largest private sector companies to invest in increasing women's participation across employment and entrepreneurship. Through the Nigeria to Equal program, we are working with the chief executive officers of listed companies who have collectively made 165 time-bound measurable commitments to reduce gender gaps across leadership, employment, entrepreneurship, and to promote advocacy for gender equality. For these companies, they recognize that a failure to reduce gender gaps represents a substantial opportunity cost, not just for them, but for the economy. As part of Nigeria to Equal, IFC is building the capacity of the Nigerian Exchange to integrate gender as part of its core activities that promote the Sustainable Development Goals and provide support for listed companies to mainstream their gender operations. And we have also provided peer learning platform opportunities to firm-level advisory services and research insights to support the companies in achieving their commitments. In line with this support, IFC performed a gender gap assessment of the 30 most capitalized companies listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange as of March 2021, and co-published a report about gender equality in Nigeria's private sector. The report revealed the need to do more to narrow the gender gap and address market failures and inadequate workplace policies that promote gender equality in formal employment and limit women's ability to high-quality jobs and leadership positions. The findings expose the fact that there are barriers preventing women from advancing to higher levels of leadership, and suggest the need for an effective strategy to feed the talent promotion pipeline. To help Nigerian companies reap the dividends of gender equality, the report made a set of data-driven recommendations on how companies can reduce gender gaps in their businesses. They can implement actions that ensure women participate equally as employees, entrepreneurs. And these include increasing female representation in business leadership positions as we celebrate this today, equal pay for equal work, family leave and flexible work options, support for women-owned small businesses and supply chain diversity, ending sexual harassment in the work environment to mitigate economic losses, etc. To advance gender equality in the private sector, everyone has a role to play, but the role of the corporate leadership is unique because they stand at the top of the pyramid, and all the other members of the organizations take cues from them. The board, CEO, senior management can effectively set the tone and champion gender equality issues by creating a company culture that embraces gender equality and is backed by measurable targets. Making even small inroads in advancing gender equality can quickly lead clear results. So today, I'm immensely inspired to see the advancement of women as board chairs. It is even more inspiring to anticipate their potential contributions to business growth and their role in advancing economic participation of women in employment and entrepreneurship. We invite companies to join us to accelerate progress towards increasing women's participation in the private sector and thereby strengthen the competitiveness of African companies. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shah, for your remarks. NGX is indeed thankful for the partnership that we have and also for the work that IFC continues to do around this very important subject. Thank you. I'd now like to invite the Doyen, Mr. Yusuf, to please deliver his remarks for a couple of minutes before we go into the closing the gong. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Hello?
Yes, please go ahead, sir. We can hear you.
Oh, good afternoon. On behalf of the dealing members of NGS and the management, it is indeed my pleasure to congratulate our movement folk and welcome Dr. Awoshika and her team to the floor formally. Particularly also to congratulate you and your group on the celebration of Women's Day. When I got this invitation, and listening to some of you, what came to my mind was that I do not really see, we on the stockbroking floor, we find it difficult to understand what the women agenda is all about. Because we did not see most of you as anything other than brilliant leaders in the capital market in your respective. Is it Dr. Omobola Johnson that we are so acquainted with? And we did not know anything about discriminating. In fact, we can't discriminate because she came in at a level that we couldn't discriminate. Or is it Erelu that is sitting on the board of NGX that we will call, anybody will talk about discrimination? We don't. So most of you, or is it Bola Adebola that we all admire in the capital market as a leading financial guru, and so on and so on. So we saw you as colleague, we saw you as respectable senior, we saw you as performer, we saw you as Nigerians that can be aired up anywhere in the world as a performer.
Dorian, we have 30 more seconds, please, for your remarks before we close.
So I use that to congratulate you on the celebration. You are one of us. You are always equal, if not more. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dorian. We received those comments very warmly. We're indeed very grateful. And I think with that, we come now to the segment where we officially bring the markets to a close. I will pause for a few seconds, and at the right time, we'll hear the closing gong digitally, and then we'll all close the markets together. So I'll just go and pause for a few seconds, about 20 seconds. Thank you. Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, that familiar sound is what you would have heard on the trading floor to signify that trading is closed for the day. I want to congratulate and thank every one of our guests for joining us this afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Omobola Johnson, Mrs. Bola Adeshola, Erelu Angela Adebayo, Mrs. Catherine Echiozo, Dr. Dere Awoshika, Mr. Kalim Shah, thank you all very much. Please stay safe and extend our warm greetings to your respective teams. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Terry.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.